And Jesus asked the demon-possessed man, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged Jesus earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside, and they begged him, saying, "Send us to the pigs, let us enter them." So Jesus gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the pigs, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the sea. The herdsmen fled and told it in the city and in the country, and the people came to see what it was that had happened. And they came to Jesus and saw the demon-possessed man, the one who had had the legion, sitting there clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who had seen it described to them what had happened to the demon-possessed man and to the pigs, and they began to beg Jesus to depart from their region. Mark chapter 5, verses 9 through 17. Jesus loves us enough to take away the loves and securities we adore more than him. The healing of the demon-possessed caveman cost the citizens of the region their entire herd of pigs. 2,000 head of livestock can't be cheap. Herdsmen lost their jobs. Owners lost their shirts. Families living in a subsistence economy lost their source of meat. The healing of the demon-possessed man became a test for this community. Will they rejoice in the salvation of one of their own? Was this man's liberation from his demons and skeletons worth the price they paid? Their answer is no. When they saw the crazy man in his right mind and the corpses of their swine bobbing in the sea, they begged Jesus to go away. They loved their meat, their jobs, their comfort, and their security more than the broken man that Jesus made whole. They would have welcomed back the demons and kept their pigs, then lose their pigs and keep the man. It did not occur to them that if Jesus had loved this man, he might love them too. If Jesus had been mighty in this man's life, he might be mighty in their life too. What he did for one man, he could do for all. In fact, they were witnessing the depth of Jesus' love for them in their loss. They were a self-centered, unmerciful, shallow, and materialistic people. The horrid demons that had held the caveman captive were obvious, but the demons that held the community prisoner were not so apparent or loathsome until Jesus exposed their ugly faces in the mirror of the glassy sea. The people felt the loss well enough, but they sure weren't feeling the love. But here's the tricky part. Do we feel it? We all experience our own losses and reversals, financial and otherwise, and we're not often, and maybe never, privy to the real spiritual forces behind the events of the day like we are in this story. But is it not possible, even probable, that in all of our losses there is the invitation, and as in this story, even the provocation on Jesus' part, to trust him more, to love him more, to cling to him more? I challenge us in the midst of the raw and enormous pain of our own losses to not push Jesus away, but to trust that in our loss, Jesus has come to our shore and would show us his desire to heal our hearts and to fill our voids if we would abide him.